Hello everyone, I am Arena International Master and FIDE instructor Rishikesh Chavan. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's start today's practice games. Okay, we got black. Okay, d4. Let's start with d5. Maybe we'll play Taras today. Let's see how it goes. We'll capture this pawn only when this bishop is moved. Okay, good for us. He captured before that, so now our bishop problem is gone. Normally in d4 d5 openings, black's white square bishop is a problem bishop, but right now it's not the case. Let's play knight e4. No, after knight e4 he has to play something like bishop into e7, queen into e7, and if he captures the knight, we'll capture with the pawn, and maybe we can start attack on this side, that is king side, by f5 or something. I'm not sure about this plan. Let's see. It doesn't look nice because see, what I'm calculating is knight e4, bishop into e7, queen into e7, bishop into e4, d into e4, and then knight d2. After knight d2, there are two attacks on this pawn, only one support of our queen. Okay, of course we can play knight f6, right? Okay, so this should work. I thought I'm missing something because after f5 he can give this check and the pawn is lost. So I was calculating this, but then we can simply play knight f6. If he captures the piece first, yeah, then we would have captured the bishop first. We missed. We should have played f5 first, and then knight to f6. Is he going to play f3? Let's see. Now we'll try either f6 or maybe f5. What is he trying to do? Let's calculate. Okay, let's play this. Now we are going to play bishop s3 if he allows. For example, if he plays king h1, then we cannot play bishop s3. What else we can play? We can even try bishop a6, and later on, not right now. So right now he's thinking about saving this pawn. He missed. Oh no. Now we cannot play bishop to h3 because he will simply capture the queen, and then he will capture the bishop. So maybe that way. Let's play this. Let's not exchange the queens yet. The threat is still there. Bishop s3. If he tries something like knight b6, then we'll play bishop s3. Yeah, now he's planning to play queen g3 after we play bishop s3. So yeah, let's develop the pieces first. Now if you play knight b6, we are going to play ra d8, and then maybe later on rf e8. Right now we are just planning to improve the position of our pieces. So whenever you can't find any tactics, any combination in the position, or there is nothing happening, nothing exciting about the position, you can keep improving the position of your pieces, and you can hope that way you will get some better plan. Mm. Why I am playing this? So that I can shift my queen on the other side, because the white's queen is kind of trapped on g3. White queen cannot come on the other side to defend the pieces, and maybe we can make use of that weakness. Okay, let's do one thing. Instead of shifting our queen on the other side of the board, what I want to do is I want to play this, and then maybe we can use the rook lift, that is rook e6 and g3. So this looks a nice plan. Let's see if this thing works. Instead of playing rook to c2, he should have played rook c5. That was a nice move. Maybe he was too much worried about our queen e2. Nothing is happening in queen e2. Queen e2 was just some queen move, because there is not even some plan with the queen e2. Your queen cannot attack alone when there are so many pieces present on the board. You need to work your pieces in a team. You need to make them work collectively. What you can try is you can try knight into d5, rook into d5, queen b8 check, king h7, and then you can capture this pawn. But then maybe we'll try and create some mating attack on the king side. and his pieces, that is rook on c2 and queen on b7, are not in a position to defend this attack. Yep. Okay. What to do? We'll have to capture this thing, right? Okay. Is he giving up a pawn? Okay, no worries. So far, so good. Okay, now we won't let him capture our bishop because that way he can gain some inroads through the c file. So we'll keep our pieces intact. But let's see. If we play bishop e6, he can play rook to e5, and then what can we do about this? Okay, right now we don't have to worry, right? Okay, let's move the bishop away. Where is he going? Let's see. Let's see. What should we do? And I'm not getting any plan right now. Let's get a rook out. Rook's roll on g4. G4 is done. Okay. We cannot exchange the rooks, right? Or maybe we can. Yeah, we can exchange the rooks. Ouch. We didn't see that coming. That's a bad miss. Okay, he got 2 points, right? I think he missed a few simple moves in the time trouble. There was no need to push the pawn in a hurry without developing the king or without activating the king. And now this should win. We'll cut off the king from this line. We are just trying to activate our king, and it's done. This keyword is of no use. Let's move ahead. Now we'll give check and force the king on the corner line. That is first rank. And maybe with the help of this pawn, we can try and create a mating net. Check. First thing first. Now there is a checkmate coming up. Now we'll use this pawn as a shelter and we'll keep pushing this pawn. So sooner or later, opponent will have to resign the game, or we can promote our queen for sure. We are giving this check so that we can use this king as a shelter from this second rank. And now we'll push the king ahead, and then we'll push the pawn. There is no way you can stop both the pawns. We have connected passers. Okay. Let's. Oh, why we are even giving the check? Yeah, actually, because we can simply promote the queen. Okay, he resigned. So it was a nice game. We got some good position in the middle game. Though we missed some simple moves, we missed some easy plans, and we tried making complicated plans. And then position got all messed up in the end of the game, where his knight was very strong, and because of his strong knight, he got few extra pawns. He got a strong rook. We were having a bad pawn structure, but in time trouble our opponent didn't manage to convert that into a win. He played endgame very badly. He gave us very lot of free pawns, and because of those free pawns we could capture his extremely poor, advanced pass pawn. We could get our two connected passers in the middle of the board, and of course, as you know, two connected passers are always very stronger. They are always a great threat against uh, a single king and a rook with our rook's help. So I hope you enjoyed this game. So see you next time. Thank you very much.